Hey guys, my name is Rose, and I used to spend $10,000 every day as pocket money. At one time, I found this money really insignificant and was spending it on whatever I wanted. However, at some point, everything changed, and this amount became a real treasure for me. Not so long ago, my family was extremely rich. We lived in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, had a huge mansion, and several sports cars. My parents owned a thriving business that brought us really huge profits. And when my family got a lot of money, they began to give me 10,000 bucks as pocket money every day. Are you impressed? I was also shocked at first. However, I quickly got used to such luxury. I bought myself a bunch of designer clothes, lots of gold jewelry, and cool gadgets. With that kind of money, I felt like the master of the whole world. But soon I got tired of spending money only on myself, so I began to satisfy the whims of my friends. I started to buy them various clothes and gadgets, and we could hang out in some great restaurant without denying ourselves anything. My friends were delighted with such generosity and kindness, but I did not stop there either. I began to treat and pamper all my classmates, and this helped me to become the most popular girl in the class. I was finally able to become cooler than Brenda, the girl with whom I was competing all the time. At that time, she kept a low profile while I was basking in the glory. However, my thoughtless spending led to problems from time to time. For example, one day after hanging out in a new fashionable restaurant, everyone went home in different ways while I decided to walk, and this was a total mistake. Two robbers followed me and, after coming closer, started demanding my purse. One of them even put the barrel of a pistol to the back of my head. At that moment, I became really scared, and with trembling hands, I held out my Prada purse to them. The robber looked inside to make sure that it was not empty, while the other one continued to hold me tight and threaten me with their weapon. I thought that the remaining money, which I did not manage to spend that day, would be enough for them, but they demanded all my gold jewelry, and only after that the criminals left me alone and ran away. Unfortunately, I could not see their faces because they were wearing masks, so I did not go to the police. And I was also too scared to complain to anyone. I thought that these dangerous people would definitely do something to me if they found out that I had told the cops about them, so I was silent and kept everything secret. This situation made me behave in a little bit more of a modest manner, but still I continued to spend enormous sums of money every day on myself as well as my classmates. In fact, we went to well familiar places and did not stand out as much as before. For example, we stopped burning bills right at the table and taking photos for Instagram holding money vans. I loved such a luxurious life, but it ended soon, and in fact, very unexpectedly. One horrible evening, my parents said they had made a deal with some untrustworthy people because of which their business was quickly going down. They tried every possible way to save it, but everything was in vain. Their partners turned out to be competitors who drew up all the documents in some cunning way, and this deprived my parents of everything. I didn't know whether I was coming or going after hearing this news. I couldn't believe that we became poor. But that's not all. Apart from the fact that those people made my parents go bankrupt and killed their business, they also left my family with debts that could be paid off only by selling all the property that we owned. Do you remember me telling that we had a gorgeous mansion and a few sports cars? We lost everything in one day. We even had to sell all the property that was in our house, including my belongings, jewelry, and expensive gadgets. I shed tears when seeing how people were buying all of this from us at a really low price. My parents were in a desperate situation, so they agreed to offers that were completely unprofitable for us. Unfortunately, we had no other choice. We moved from Beverly Hills to some poor and even a little dangerous area of Los Angeles to start a new life in a cramped and uncomfortable apartment that wasn't even renovated in a proper way. I asked my parents to at least paint the walls in my room with a lighter color, but they said they had no money for that. But how was this possible? It's just that I've lived all my life knowing that we were rich and that we will never be in need of anything. But apparently, my destiny has decided to make fun of me, like this is some kind of bad but not funny joke on my family. I wanted to return to my luxurious house instead of living in a cramped apartment in some strange area. But what scared me the most was the exposure at school. If my classmates found out that I became poor, they would definitely laugh at me and I would no longer be the most popular girl in the class, giving way to Brenda. So I decided to behave in such a way as if nothing had happened. I told my friends the day before I had bought new clothes from a new collection of Christian Siriano, and they were listening to me with admiration. "Are we going anywhere today?" they asked, and I lied, saying that on that day I just forgot my money at home. But I could not use such excuses all the time. In addition, the most attentive people noticed that I was wearing the same clothes several days in a row. They started suspecting something since this had not happened before. But later, they exposed me. In fact, Brenda did it. She told our classmates everything. She announced that my parents were so poor that they couldn't even afford buying clothes in a normal store. It turned out that Brenda saw them leaving the secondhand shop the day before. And then she came up to me and proudly declared that it was her parents who made my whole family go bankrupt. She knew that we weren't able to do anything since my parents signed all the papers, which had been drawn up properly in legal terms. It was impossible to find any fault with them. I got angry and almost hit her since all my problems started because of her family. So now I spend not $10,000 but only $10 a day and also live in some ugly apartment. After being exposed, my life changed, of course. My popularity disappeared. My classmates stopped talking to me because I didn't buy anything for them, and my friends came up with various excuses so as not to go out with me anymore. In fact, all this was not surprising, but I did not really think that they would start bullying me. Once on my desk, I found a pile of coins with a note which said, "Now you can afford a school sandwich." And then Brenda recorded a live stream video where she humiliated me by saying that I was eating cheap fast food instead of products from expensive restaurants. She also added a link to my Instagram account so that people could see how I used to live and what had become of me since then. Due to the rising wave of hatred toward me, I had to disable all my accounts on social media. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. Once, when I came to school, I saw my picture on posters with offensive inscriptions below it on the walls of the hall. $1 was attached to each photo, and then following was written, "This is for you so that you aren't in need of anything." I didn't even attend my lessons then, but ran away so as not to see that nightmare. All the changes in my life put a lot of pressure on me, and because of this, I cried every night. I wanted to go back in time and become rich again, not saving $10 to buy myself more food in the cafeteria and some dessert. I was even embarrassed to go to the store with those pennies which my parents sent me there with. We really stopped buying normal food in order to save money because my parents didn't manage to get any other job. They were looking for something suitable for themselves while saving on everything. I hated such a life and could not put up with it in any way, and even my classmates constantly reminded me that I was a beggar. As a result, their bullying became so unbearable that I decided to transfer to another school where everyone would leave me alone. And after that, life began to improve somehow, step by step. I was among peers who also did not live luxurious lives, and I was able to make friends with them. My parents finally found a job and started saving money to start a new business. How would you spend $10,000 every day? Give your answers in the comments. Click on the thumbs up button below the video and share it with your friends.